Hey guys, I finally got to Yerevan, freshen up, about to head to dinner. Hopefully have a good Armenian meal and then check out the city a bit. So come go on a limb with me and we'll see what Yerevan has to offer. Folks, before we start, kindly hit the subscribe button and the notify button for new contents that I upload weekly. Thank you. First of all, we'll start with the core of the Armenian capital that has 1 million residents here, and this is Republic Square. It's a popular square that consists of 2 sections, an oval roundabout with a stone pattern in its center, designed to look just like a traditional Armenian rug, as well as a trapezoid-shaped section containing the musical fountain. The buildings around the square are made of pink and yellow tough stones, fortified on a basalt-made base. We'll come back to the Republic Square at night when the buildings light up. Trust me, it's magical. So Yerevan is situated about 14 miles or 23 kilometers from the Turkish border. This is why the famous Mount Ararat is visible everywhere here in the city. Though first historically recorded in 607 CE, there's actually evidence that there was settlement, way before that here in Yerevan. So it's definitely one of the oldest cities in the world. So the city developed, as an important focus of trade and has had a long history of siege and storm. I mean, it came under the rules of Romans, the Arabs, the Mongols, the Turks, the Persians, the Georgians, and the Russians. So yes, passed through many hands. So in 1920, Yerevan became the capital of the independent Armenian Republic. It remained the capital during the periods of Soviet rule, as well as its most recent renewed independence. So the city definitely has seen a whole lot. So we're walking on Northern Avenue, which is the most popular pedestrian-only avenue in the city. The avenue is mainly home to luxurious residential buildings, commercial offices, coffee shops, hotels, a restaurant, nightclubs, as well as high-end branded shops like Burberry, Armani, as well as Ralph Lauren. So the avenue is 450 meters, about 1,480 feet long, and about 27 meters, that's about 89 feet wide. So on one end of the Northern Avenue is Freedom Square, where the Armenian National Opera as well as Ballet Theatre is located. A theatre was officially opened on January 20th, 1933, and was designed by the Armenian architect Alexander Tamanian. So the Freedom Square is also known as Liberty Square, and by the locals as Opera Square, Theater Square. Just people love to hang out here. So the city of Yerevan is pretty lively with outdoor cafes. You can see folks enjoying the beautiful weather that I was lucky enough to have during my visit. Now we have arrived at the popular Cascade Complex. So the complex includes a big statue of Tamanian, the Garden of Tamanian, the Cascade Stairway, the Center for the Arts, various sculptures, fountains, as well as a lot of cafe. So a bit more about the Cascade. So the Cascade is a giant stairway made of limestone, and it's definitely one of the most pictured locations here in the capital. So construction of the Cascade began in 1971 during the Soviet era. The first phase was actually completed in 1980. Second phase began in earnest in 2002 and lasted until 2009. It's about 7 years later. You can actually take the 572 steps up to the top, or fortunately for lazy folks like me, there's actually an escalator that you can take to go all the way to the top. So on the top, you enjoy a magnificent view of the city with the beautiful snow-capped Mount Ararat of Turkey as the backdrop. Now, it's only fair that we take the 572 steps down because we didn't do that coming up here. So after all these steps, it's time to eat. But first, let's check out one of those popular, souvenir shops in the city called Dalan Art Gallery, where shoppers can actually find almost anything here. But entering here is mandatory since it's the only way to get to Dalan, which is the restaurant where we're having our dinner. So Dalan is actually, immersed in art and history. The restaurant and the shop are housed in a late 19th century house. There's actually more open air dining here since the house can only accommodate limited sitting. This Armenian pomegranate wine. It actually just tastes like regular wine. I wonder what's the alcohol content. So we started with some traditional clay oven baked bread and a simple avaluk salad, which is a popular starter here in Armenia. It's made with a type of green that is famous or popular here. So the texture of the vegetable is kind of like collard greens minus the stem. So for entrees, we had the famous Armenian trout from Lake Savan. So interestingly, even though Armenia is a landlocked country, they do eat a lot of freshwater fish thanks to Lake Savan. So this is just a simple grilled fish, but it's certainly very tasty. We also had some barbecue pork ribs that were succulent and grilled to perfection. Now it's time for a post-dinner stroll to enjoy the evening here in Yerevan. So time to head back to Republic Square, which really comes alive at night. Originally designed by Alexander Armenian in 1924, Republic Square is surrounded by 5 major buildings built in the neoclassical style with extensive use of Armenian motifs. So the architectural ensemble includes the Government House, you have the History Museum, the National Gallery, the Marriott Hotel, which was where I stayed, Hello Room, and 2 buildings that formerly house the Ministries of Foreign Affairs and Transport and Communications. Hey guys, I want to say Yerevan is definitely vibrant and it comes to life in the evening. I'm here actually on a Tuesday night and there's actually so many people walking around in the city, crowding the bars and restaurants and everything. So yeah, it's in terms of sights, the city itself doesn't have a whole lot to see, but it's about the energy, and this city is not lacking any of that. So it's actually worth checking out Yerevan if you do come to Armenia, just for the sheer energy. And I have to say, crossing the border, even after visiting Azerbaijan, is actually not too hard. I was expecting it to be more difficult, but it's okay. So yeah, I'm totally enjoying my visit to Armenia.